How's it going, everyone? Today is a big day. I decided to buy myself a new blower. I don't know when this is going to go up, but currently it's towards the end of August. Fall time is coming, and I have a blower now, which is perfectly fine, but I decided to treat myself. So I bought myself a PB 9010. Now, this is made by Echo. It is a backpack blower, one of the biggest ones they make. In fact, I'm pretty sure it is. And it is mine now. I'll let you know what I paid towards the end, but let's go ahead and I'm going to unbox it, and then we're going to go over some information about it. Now, I'm not usually a buy new type of person when it comes to lawn equipment because, well, I can buy it used and fix it. I'm doing this because it specifically says do not cut. But considering I have never done this, I decided to treat myself. Okay, what do we have here? Looks like we have some tubing. We have a bag full of looks like some clamps and a booklet of some sort. A B. Looks like more tubing. Tubing is pretty thick, pretty stout. Can't really squish it very easily. This one was squished a little bit. There we go. Goes back. Looks like we have an end piece. It has the Echo metal end on it. And then we have the machine. That looks to be about it. Okay. So, I think let's just take a look at this. Looks like it's pretty standard. Nice thick back straps. Carburetor is exposed. It looks very similar to the one that's on the it's a smaller version of this. What else do we have here? So here's the warranty information. I'm not going to worry too much about that. The instructions are not exactly the most elaborate instructions in the world, I've been noticing. Gives you a lot of dangerous stuff, so on and so forth, and the other side's a different language, but gives you the general idea. However, pretty standard instructions, not going to be too hard to follow, but yeah, I'm going to get it put together. Yeah, the only thing it really says is unwrap and fully extend the static discharge wire and insert it into the flexible blower tube as shown, and then yeah, you just continue on. So not too difficult on that one. So I say we need to get our blower tube started here. We have a clamp, however, the clamps do have to go in a special way. I'm assuming, according to the instructions, it is this one on the top. Has a little guide for the cable. Here we are. Let us go ahead and take that off. And then, does this go on the top? How is a clamp on? I'll do a little reading. There's two sides of the tube, one that has like a ridge, one that doesn't have a ridge. Ridge goes on first. However, we do need to get this started. Is this too big already? Quite. Well, not too big. I'm wondering if I have to loosen it, but it doesn't really look like it. Usually, this is a pretty large struggle, so, and it's all together. So, break it down for you real quick. Clamp with the little thing on it to hold the cable goes up top. Clamp it down. Side with the ridges facing the machine. Side with no ridges just gets a tube in the center with another clamp, and then your handle you can adjust wherever you want. These are two different pieces. You can adjust the length. I have it set to be rather long. I do kind of like that. But you can make it pretty short too. However, you do have to make sure you twist it and twist it hard, otherwise they have a tendency of falling off. But other than that, that's about it. I did forget to take off that little rubber band, but I'm not too worried about that. And yeah, this says, before we continue, Californian. So if you're from California, this is a air index of 3. It's an extended 300 hours. Don't really know what that means. I don't live in California. And yeah, next, PNW, or Mr. PNW, is 6'3", 260 pounds. So these back straps are going to need to be almost extended out all the way. Not quite, but pretty decently extended. So I'm going to fiddle with my personal likings of it. I'm going to put it on and we'll continue. Actually, you know what? Let's put some fuel in it, shall we? Oh, before I forget, in addition to everything you see here, this is what they call a cold weather shield. You take off the straps and the whole thing, and you put this over the air intake. This is not meant to be used in 15-degree weather. I forget what that is in Celsius, but it's like, I don't know, -2, 3, 4, something like that. So this protects your fuel lines as well as a few other things. If you're using it, I don't know why you would be, but clearing snow or, I don't know, whatever requires a blower in 15-degree weather. Put this in there, you don't have to worry about ruining everything. Fuel. It says it needs to be regular with 50-to-1 mix. It does recommend their own oil, naturally, because it's Echo. Everyone is going to recommend their own oil. But in here is actually non-ethanol with Echo Red Armor. It's an excellent oil. And I just want to say, Echo is not paying for any of this. I'm going to get to how much I paid for it at the end, but it's my money for the fuel, money for the oil. Everything's mine. And anyone who's seen my videos before knows I'm not a fan of its competition, so this is a likely choice for me. Probably a decent amount. Fuel. Let's give this a prime, shall we? Fuel lines, I feel, could have been routed a little differently. A little hard to get to the primer, but whatever. So, on my EBZ 8500, to put the choke on there, you actually have a little arm you have to move. That thing is notorious for breaking. However, if you buy an aftermarket carb, it has a choke actually on the carb, and that's what this has, which is nice. It's that red thing. You just twist it, and that's about it. Now, Echoes are notorious for not starting on the first pull, and they do like to have the choke on a little bit longer than usual. So usually it's about 1 or excuse me, use about 2 to 3 pulls. This engine's never ran before, so it has an air filter in it. I guess I didn't check the plug. I'm assuming it would have a plug in it. Don't know why it wouldn't. We're just going to assume it does. There's no pins. The instruction booklet said absolutely nothing about having to remove anything besides just putting it together. So we should be ready to get it started. Put my foot there. It's a newer engine. I like to pull just to kind of make sure there's nothing in the way. If there was a pin, it wasn't mentioning, stuff like that. It doesn't appear so. Let's make sure this has a was off. Can't really go by the pulls now. Probably will start now. There we go. Let's try this again. We're gonna try no choke, 15 minutes, so might be too cold, but let's find out. Running pretty good. Has plenty of power, that is for sure. I'm gonna let this air out though, so I can, breathe. Here it is. Pretty decent little machine. I thoroughly enjoy it. It's one of those that is going to be used for quite a long time. As long as you kind of keep up with the maintenance, this is going to last a very, very long time. So, let's talk about this, shall we? We have a blower here that is a 79.9 cc. It is 1,110 CFM with a max airspeed of 211 miles per hour. The blowing force in newtons is 48. The weight itself with no fuel is 26.7 pounds. And the fuel tank in ounces is 83 ounces. So what is that? That's like a little over 2 liters probably. Almost 3 liters, about 2/3 of a gallon or so. The sound is 79 decibels, so it's going to be a little bit quieter than my other one. I paid $649 for this machine. It is the best, well, the biggest one that I know they make, at least non-commercial. So I think this should be a pretty good little unit. Very easy to install everything. I will say though, I don't like these little clamps that they have, but every single blower has them. I'm not gonna, strike them for that. Serviceability seems excellent. Fuel lines, very readily available. The carburetor, very easily to seen. Could be considered a bad thing. I don't personally think so, but that's just my opinion. Air filter, very easy to get to. Spark plug might be a little bit of a difficult part just because it's where the air filter is, but pretty good. Housing seems pretty decent where it matters, like right here, and then right here where you might be rubbing against like your arm, seems very soft but pliable, and I'm pretty sure it's been like that to be on purpose for comfort. Back has a pretty thick pad. These pads, or these straps, are very thick and they are pretty comfortable. I do like the fact it has the throttle on the tube. My other one had it on the little side. I was not too much of a fan of that, but it does work either way. It kind of makes it so both hands are kind of full, so if you're trying to do something, kind of annoying, but I guess, what's that saying about idle hands? Cover seems pretty flexible. Not quite sure if I like that. The other ones were a little bit more thick, or just different plastic, but that doesn't support any weight. Fuel tank looks to be good size. As we saw, it's about 80 ounces, bigger than a lot of the other tanks. You heard it. It's not insanely loud. It does have that stereotypical echo noise. I don't know if anyone else has noticed, but I have a few neighbors. Two of them have a BR800. One's a BR800, one's a BR600. My father-in-law has a PB580. I don't remember what the number is. It's pretty decent. It's about 500 or about 50 cc's. It's pretty good for what he needs it. He doesn't really have a lot of big trees, so it works pretty well for him. But every time I can tell it's him using it compared to my other neighbors. And a lot of times the neighbors are actually closer, so you can tell. Anyway, recoil. That's a point that a lot of blowers really fail on. This definitely seems pretty secure, pretty solid. It's definitely not made out of a cheaper material. You can tell where they decided to spend their money was in the recoil and the back plastic and where the fan is. And the rest, while could be considered comfort, probably the biggest downfall I'm seeing is that. But like I said, it's not too much of a problem for me. I don't plan on putting stuff on it. Choke is definitely a lot better. I don't like having those little arms. They break. That one's on there pretty easy. Other than that, weight, it's pretty decent. I mean, it is a little heavy in comparison, but it is almost 80 cc's. You're gonna have that, so that's pretty much what you're gonna be expecting. At least I would expect that. Has a very similar design to a lot of the other ones, mainly being the Husqvarna, or the EBZ 8500, which is the same basic thing as that one. So that's nice. Everything's pretty, looks like it's easy to get to and open. The tube, a pretty good quality. I don't suspect it being that much of a problem. I can tell there is a little bit of a difference in the material chosen than the other ones, but maybe that's a good thing because some of the other ones do tend to crack. It does have that steel piece on the end, which is pretty nice. Can't tell you how many times people drag it and just like scrapes half of it off. So with that, it should at least help it quite a bit. So I think we're gonna call that good. So if this helped you out, leave a thumbs up. It definitely helps me out. Catch you in the next video. Stay tuned for the next one because we're going to be doing a part 2 about this machine on the why I bought it. So if you want to see that, continue watching part 2. You have a good night.